Tell them in the fall back. We have a gun battle now. We'll never make it to Jerusalem. Tell them in the fall back. We have a gun battle now. We'll never make it to Jerusalem.
Shalom, y'all. It's your boy PayGdashtheprophet. Now, I just want to speak real quickly on this whole Jersey City shooting that took place. Now, you got to really, really pay attention to what's going on here. You know, people of color who are starting to wake up to who they are, it is becoming a dangerous thing because, you know, us waking up, these people are going to start to target our awakening and make it seem other than what it is. Okay, you know, for example, you know, when things like this happen, they call us terrorists. They say all these type of things, you know, and this is another false flag situation, because whenever these Europeans shoot up a church, shoot up a school, you know, they put bulletproof vests on these people. They walk them out. They give them the protection and everything. Okay, but let a person of color do anything, they are demonized to the max. They give them the max to everything. And you have to really pay attention to what's going on. Okay, so they immediately associated this guy with the quote-unquote Black Hebrew Israelite movement, you know, and the governor of Jersey City was saying, you know, we have to basically push this thing to the max and really railroad these people. You know, this is a hate crime and all this and that. It's like all the hate crimes that go on against people of color. There's nobody in our defense in speaking about those things as a terrorist attack. People of color get shot unarmed all over America, and nobody's like, oh, this is a terrorist act. You know, if anything, if it's the flip side, they say, you know, this person is you know, he has mental illness, he has a problem, we need to treat him and stuff like that. But if something like this happens with our people, it's always they're terrorists, they're the worst ever. Media always destroys our people and tries to destroy our people in movies, films, TV shows, all this thing. We've always been demonized. And the fact that we are waking up to our true roots, they are using these things to demonize who we are. Say, oh, well, you know, he's a terrorist and he follows the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. As to say, you know, people of color who are coming into this awakening, that's what they're all about. You know, we're a terrorist group and stuff like that. You know, and this is what it's coming down to. I want y'all to notice that this is what it's going down to. If you've seen the movie Queen and Slim, okay, in the end of the film, okay, if you've seen that film, in the end of the movie, that's what they eventually want to do. That is the inevitable plan or the conclusion. And this is why we're going to have to call on to the Most High. Okay, because this is where they're pushing it to label us how they want to label us. So, and they go into their accounts and they look so all this stuff, and I want y'all to keep this in mind, all the stuff that we may share about who we are, us awakening to who we are, you know, this is a threat. We are a threat. Just by who we are, just by saying you are a Hebrew Israelite, not even Black Hebrew Israelite. They label it Black Hebrew Israelite. Okay, but we are Hebrew Israelites. There's no black. Okay, and it damn sure ain't no white. But they are making this to demonize us in our awakening, because your awakening is the biggest threat for those that know scripture and know about the God of Israel and how the God of Israel killed nations for his people when he killed Egypt. And that's going to be my next lesson I'm actually dropping this weekend. But yeah. So, they understand that. And this is why our language was changed, our culture, customs were changed, and they have indoctrinated us with this being called black or being called African American.
You're not even American. You're not even African American. You're not even African American. You're not even African American.
When these things have no language, no culture, no landmass to go back to. So we're basically walking dead people with false titles. Okay. But the fact that we are waking up, okay, to who we are, they're going to demonize us. When it comes to them, they say, oh, this is anti-Semitism. We are the real Shemites. We are the real Shemites. And when we get killed, there's no, oh, this and that. There's nobody in our defense but us. And this is why we need to wake up, love each other, come back to whom we are. They make our awakening as something that's a terroristic thing. Meanwhile, they've been killing us and terrorizing us for centuries.
You're saved! You're saved!
And nothing has been done about it. And that's the irony and that's the hypocrisy with America and with the news. And this is why we have to wake up and stop following and stop supporting these people. And we shouldn't give a damn about who and how they feel about our awakening.
The lost tribes of Israel were black.
Do you know that the black man in America is Israel? That he's Jews? Do you know that?
Yes.
Okay, because of course they didn't like it in the first place. That's why they changed our language and stripped our culture. These people never loved or cared about you in the first place. And we have to understand that from the root. So now that we are coming back to the fold and who we are, we have to understand that these people are not gonna like you or love you, and they're gonna do whatever it is in their power to demonize you. So these things have to be expected. This is why the awakening is important for our people. But just looking at this thing, it's just clear that whenever it comes to people of color waking up, they're going to attack it. They're going to do a thing which is called damage control. And that's why, they took my YouTube channel down and many other YouTube channels. They're coming up with all these restrictions and quote unquote community guidelines and all these things to attack the awakening. It's prophesied we would wake up to whom we are. And why shouldn't we? Why should we remain ignorant? We've been enslaved here by these Europeans. Okay. All these atrocities and terrorizing things have happened to us as a people. Now, who's coming to our aid? Who's coming to help us? Who's offering assistance to us in all the things that we've been through for years? There's nobody seeking to help us, whether it be mentally, emotionally, and all of these things. There's nobody coming to us directly and say, hey, we have done you guys wrong. We have done this to you. We've done that to you, and we still do these things. So here, we want to put this in place for you. For you. Not everybody as a whole, but for you. And that goes back to the lesson on reparations that I did. All these other nations, they get reparations for whatever they've been through by the Europeans, the Japanese, the natives, and the quote unquote Jewish people. Okay, they've gotten paid for their sufferings and their trials and their pressures or whatever they went through. They received some sort of compensation for what they've been through. Us, we have not been compensated for nothing, and we are constantly disregarded. Okay, we're constantly disregarded. We're constantly made fun of. Okay, and this is why it's important that we as a people love each other, snap out of the delusion, out of the deception, and what's being fed to us. We got to pay attention to what's going on. And this right here, what's going on is not going to be the last thing. Okay, so now that we're waking up and we might be saying these things on our post or Facebooks or whatever. These people are monitoring these things to put you in these categories. Okay, so when martial law and the government really shows its ugly face, okay, they know who to come for. They know who to come for, and they're definitely going to be coming for us, which confirms the scriptures. And this is why we need to get into this truth and wake up to whom we are, because everything that's written in the scriptures about us, we can see clearly in reality. We can see clear in reality of who we are, what we're dealing with, and how it's going to end. And it's all in the scriptures. We are the people of the book. They know that, and this is why they'll never give you anything. They'll never support you. They'll always hate you. No matter what president you put in office, nothing will change until our God returns for us. Okay? So, I'm not for any, go out and go hurt people or whatever, because what was done for us, the Most High gonna do that. So I don't condone any violence against what has been done against us, because we know, if you understand scripture, you understand who we are, we know it's all coming from the Father. The Father has lifted his hand up against us through our enemies, and he is the one that's going to put them down when he returns for us, because it's all about our correction. Okay, but you need wisdom to actually understand these things. Okay, so, but they just want to associate us with being terrorist people or being, racist. It's like, oh, black people are racist. Like, how can we be racist? We have no power, okay, financially to be racist, to make us be bigger than whomever and affect your life. Us being racist cannot affect the European way of life. So even if we wanted to believe we were aliens, that cannot affect the European way of living. No matter what we think or however we feel. Okay? So it's just foolish to say that. But however they feel and what they think can affect us. And that is the difference. That is where you draw the line. Okay? Their hatred, their racism has affected us. We've been destroyed mentally. We've been indoctrinated. We've been oppressed, segregated. All these things. Their power that they use has affected us. Their racism and prejudices and all that has affected us. So when they speak about us being racist, they need to flip the mirror on themselves. And that's the problem. And this is why the Most High is going to judge these foolish people. All right. But anyway, I just wanted to speak on that. Keep your eyes open and pay attention to what's going on out here.
Tell them in the fall back. We have a gun battle now. We'll never make it to Jerusalem.
So the genetic testing actually proved to the doubters. Genetic testing actually proved to the doubters what you and your forefathers have been saying for generations.
On to Jerusalem.
On to Jerusalem.
That must be exciting news.
It is.
I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of the Lemba. I knew very little about the people. But having spent time making the journey from Jerusalem down through Zimbabwe, having spent time here at this festival, seeing what your people are all about, I can only sum it up in one word, and it's shalom.
Shalom.
Well, shalom and l'chaim on this shit.